It's getting towards the end of April and I was like, should I film a wrap up this month? Not really in the mood to get ready and like sit down and film this. And then I was like, I'm just gonna film it right this second. So that's what I'm doing. No need to get all ready just to talk about books. Am I right or am I right? So this month of April, I was traveling from the 5th until the 22nd. So basically the entire month I've been traveling, but I've actually managed to get a lot of books in. I mean, not like a crazy amount, but I think I've read 10 to 12 books. No idea, I'm guessing. So I wanted to talk about them with you quickly because I've read so many good books this month. Like, I don't think there's been any misses. Like, I think every book has been consistently good. Like, I started off with a 5-star and I'm probably gonna end with a 5-star. Like, how insane is that? Starting off with Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This book was so good. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars, which I was not expecting to. So it starts off with Naomi getting to this new town. Everyone in this town is like calling her by the wrong name, and she's coming to realize it's because her twin sister, who she hasn't seen in years, is from that town. But everyone hates her twin sister. She's like literally a menace to society. She's the worst. So she's like, oh my god, everyone stop calling me by my twin sister. I swear I'm not her. We're opposites in every way. Then she meets this guy. It's kind of enemies to lovers. It's not even enemies. Like, they get off on the wrong foot, but then immediately he like starts falling for her. It's so cute. I think it's guy falls first, but he just takes a really long time to realize it. He does such nice things for her, and basically it's like small town vibe, and she gets left with her twin sister's daughter. So now she's like a single parent that got thrown this whole situation with nowhere to live in this new town. The romance was just so good. Like, he's so protective of her. He also has a brother that's like involved, and I think the brother's gonna get a book, and I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of jealousy, and then there's a lot of like, oh, I swear I don't like her, like I hate her, but you can tell he doesn't. And I would really recommend this book. Okay, this is like crazy, totally out there for me, but I saw people raving about it. It's called the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I feel like if someone told me what it was about before I read it, I wouldn't have read it. I saw people like saying it was so good and so entertaining, and it was keeping them on their toes. It's 5 books. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read this while I'm on vacation. Because if it's super like fast paced, I feel like that's a great vibe. Little did I know how dark it was gonna be, but it was so entertaining. Like, when I tell you, every chapter there was like a cliffhanger anxiety. Every book ended on a cliffhanger. I read all 5 books in like 2 to 3 days. Like, I could not stop. I couldn't put them down. Bear with me, this is gonna sound crazy, because it is crazy, and this is definitely not like a realistic nor desirable romance, but it is between an FBI agent who is working on this case where there's a serial killer, but you're in the mind of the serial killer, and it's actually a woman, and they fall in love, and he doesn't know it's her. So he's trying to crack this case, and she's the one he's trying to catch, but he doesn't know it's her. By the way, it's not a spoiler. You literally know that from the first chapter. You're in her perspective.
Think if they made the show Criminal Minds and kept it in as gory and crazy as it is with the profilers and everything, but then they added romance. That is what the Mindfuck series is.
And you're like, ew, how could you ever read a romance about a serial killer? Because that's exactly what I thought when I was like finding out all of what it was about as I was reading it. But as I was reading it, I was like, there's no way this is gonna be redeemable, that I'm gonna be like, oh, I like her, or like I support her actions. But when you find out what she's doing and why, yes, it's not justified, and murdering people is not okay. Don't think that I'm saying that, but it shows you the backstory and like tries to make you reason with her. I don't know how to explain it. Like, there was never a point where I was like, oh, I think she's a good person, but I could see why she was doing what she was doing. I mean, I wouldn't do it. And I was really anxious because the whole time you're like, oh my god, he's gonna find out, he's gonna find out, eventually he's gonna find out. But like, I low-key didn't want him to find out, but then I was like, that's so wrong, because like, she's literally killing people. You're in her head and you see her trauma and you see what... If you are in a slump and you need like just a book to entertain you, but also it's super gruesome, keep that in mind. But just the anxiety that this book brought me, I can totally tell why everyone's raving about it, because I could not put them down. Like I said, I read them in 2 to 3 days, and there's 5 books. Now, do I think it was morally correct or something I would model a romance after? No. It's fiction, but it was entertaining. I'll leave you with that. Those were the next 5 books I read. Then, when I was in Paris, I kindly got gifted the book On Sun Swallowing by the author herself, Dakota Warren. And this is a poetry book that she wrote. Look how pretty it is. First of all, there's like pictures in it. Oh my god, it feels like reading someone's journal, and she literally signed and kissed my book. Like, how cute is that? So yeah, that's the next book I read. I've never been much of a poetry girl, but I can really appreciate how genius this is, so love that for her. After reading that, I was searching for a book that would make me feel the way the Things We Never Got Over made me feel, because I was like, I just love that small town romance vibe, and I was kindly recommended The Confidence of Wildflowers by Michaela Smeltzer. So good. It's a duet. So I read The Confidence of Wildflowers and The Resurrection of Wildflowers. The only complaint I had about these was I felt like they could have been put in one book. It like kind of dragged for me, but I still recommend it. So Salem is trying to figure herself out. Does she want to go to college? Does she want to stay in her hometown? All her friends are leaving. Her boyfriend's life is completely changing and he's going away to college, and she's kind of just like in her hometown, not really knowing what to do. She has a lot of trauma that she hasn't really gotten like worked out. A new guy moves next door. He's a single dad, and he asks her if she will babysit for him, and she starts watching the son. They form a really close bond, and then a romance unfolds between the dad and her. It is, warning, a big age gap, which is something that I kind of go back and forth on, like, if I like or not. So if you don't like big age gaps, you won't like this. I really liked this book, and then I got to the end and my heart got ripped out of my chest and I was literally bawling my eyes out because I did not expect what happened to happen. So unnecessary and uncalled for. But then we got the second book, and the second book is a time jump, kind of a second chance romance. So again, the only thing about this is like I wish they were kind of put into one book, like a part 1 and a part 2, and just like both of them were shortened, but I really recommend them nonetheless. So yeah. Then after that, I read Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson.
I'm literally a dumb idiot and just deleted all of the footage of me talking about this book, like just now as I was editing it. So I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis through iMovie. Basically, this book is YA, so the characters are younger, which I haven't read in a really long time. It is also a trope that I really like, which is like when the character goes to a beach house for the summer. I think I'm gonna do an entire recommendation video for like summer book recs where they like have a beach house, but that's this book. She has a lake house, but her and her family haven't been there in like 5 years because just like life got in the way. She's really not close with her family. Her and her siblings are not close. They kind of fight a lot, and she's kind of the middle child. She has middle child syndrome. And then her family decides they're gonna go back to the lake house after not going for 5 years because they just found out something really tragic is happening to their family, and they want to have like one last good fun summer to bring back all the good memories. The main character's like, oh my god, no, I don't want to go back because last time we were there I accidentally burned all of my bridges with my old friend group. And you're like, oh my god, what happened? And so throughout the book you slowly find out what happened with her old friends, the old boy she liked, and then you're also like in the present tense watching her become friends with them again, see the boy she used to like, spark a romance there. I felt like this book wasn't really focused on the romance, but it was more focused on the main character kind of not coming of age, but righting all her wrongs with her friends. Like it talked a lot about friendship, and then I really felt like it was about family relationships. By the end of the book, she became a lot closer with her siblings and her mom. She learned a lot about herself and her family with her dad, and then there's like a romance in there with her childhood crush. But I felt like the romance was like not the main plot of this book at all. It was kind of a background plot, and then the ending just really was sad. It was sad, and then, but it has like a happy ending, but it got depressing. So, yeah.
In the book that I'm currently reading as I'm filming this, it's only the 25th of April, so I still have like a week left. So I probably will read another book, but I'll just include it in next month's wrap up if I do one. But the book I'm reading right now is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you know, you know. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors. I've given every book I've read by her 5 stars, and I haven't finished this one, but I feel like it is also going to be a 5-star. This is about Mick Riva's family. So if you read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you know who Mick Riva is, and you're probably like, ew, what the fuck? You still are going to have that same feeling in this book. This is about his children, more specifically Nina, who's his daughter. It all takes place in the span of one night, or like one day, night, morning. And it's like labeled by the hour, which I find really interesting. Well, I think it is. I haven't gotten to the end yet, but I think it all takes place in one day. And they're hosting a party. They're super wealthy. I feel like the message of this book is just like family relationships, parental relationships, like parents being kind of disappointing, having to do things on your own, not being able to rely on your parents, a lot of drama. If you liked The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you would like this. I'm only this far in, so I really can't tell you what it's about, but that's what I've gotten so far. I'm at 5 p.m. They're getting dressed for the party right now. So yeah, we'll probably talk more about this book in a different recommendation video when I finish it, so that's all I can say about it for now. But yeah, that's the book that I'm ending this video on. So that's everything I've read this month. Oh, before I started Malibu Rising, I started the audiobook for The Fire Between High and Low by Brittany C. Cherry, which is the second book because I read the first book last month. But I keep forgetting to go back to it because I bought the audiobook instead of the ebook just because I was on a plane in the moment and wanted to listen to it, and then the plane ride was only an hour, so I only listened to an hour of the audiobook and haven't gone back to it. So far, what I know about that book, only being like 10% into it, is it's a friends to lovers and it's good girl, bad boy, kind of. That's all I know so far. You'll probably hear about that one in next month's wrap up as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to follow me on my other social medias, they're all linked down below as always, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye!